Welcome back to the Serial Killers podcast, where we get to the bottom of the bowl and all things breakfast cereal. We are your host. I am your resident CC, cereal connoisseur, Maura.
I'm Molly. I eat breakfast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And I'm Isabelle, the cereal hater.
And this is your most important podcast of the day.
So this week, we're going to be talking about our own opinions on the top-selling cereals, keeping in mind 4 categories: taste overall, taste of cereal milk, taste of the cereal dry, and cereal durability. And then later on, we're going to rank them based on these categories. So let's get right into it with Lucky Charms coming in at number 1 as the top-selling cereal. Lucky Charms. I understand why it's number 1. I think it's a kid favorite, but I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like the crunch of the cereal and then the meltiness of the marshmallow, once in milk, is not great, personally.
I feel like Lucky Charms are a glorified Cheerio with marshmallows. They're not that great. I think I have a bias because I wasn't allowed to eat them as a child. So that could be where I have all this Lucky Charm hate, but for me, they're not the best.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that they offer is good tasting milk after and some colors.
Yes.
That's about it.
Pretty good dry, I have to say.
Pretty good dry, but is it really a cereal if the best aspect of it is the marshmallow? Something to think about. Exactly. Coming in at number 2 is Honey Nut Cheerios. I think this fan favorite, classic cereal, I personally love. I think the taste overall is great. I also think the cereal milk after is also great. And I think it's a great dry cereal, and it has great durability overall.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with the classic Honey Nut Cheerio. You know, it's like the first thing I grab in the morning if I'm hungry. I just grab of it dry.
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah, no. First box, always. Right off the aisle, first box I pick.
Also perfect, sweet to like normal classic Cheerio taste. I don't think it's like okay for all age ranges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more with the take on the Honey Nut Cheerios. On to Frosted Flakes. These ones are a personal favorite because they're good dry. Not the best when they're in milk, but I feel like you can take them on the go. They're great.
Yeah, definitely my favorite dry cereal, but I feel like it loses a lot of points because it lacks durability. The second it hits the milk, it gets all soggy.
Yeah, it only lasts for like 2 minutes, but also they're so good that it only lasts 2 minutes.
Exactly.
By the time you're over with it.
You don't eat it. It doesn't take longer than 2 minutes to eat it.
Exactly.
Also, the cereal milk after, great.
Yeah.
I think I'm more inclined to eat the whole box just because of how fast it goes.
That's true. That is true.
So we are halfway through discussing the top cereals in the United States on Serial Killers podcast. Any surprises so far? Coming in at number 4, we have Honey Bunches of Oats. Not my favorite.
Don't know why it's on this list. How is it a top-selling cereal? I don't even consider it cereal. I consider it granola.
I consider it, I'd agree. I'd say it's a garnish. I'd put it on top of a smoothie bowl. I'd pack a bag of it to go somewhere, but I'm not going to pour any milk on top of it.
Yeah.
No.
I would say it's like a perfect middle ground between like trying not to eat like the sugary stuff and then also trying to be healthy. But it's also not that healthy. So it's like, where's the middle ground?
Also, I think it like clumps up. So you might get like bigger pieces and then smaller pieces. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Like a random crunch out of nowhere.
Yeah, and like it might be like too much. And I just don't like that. And I don't know, like, is it great? Maybe it has a good overall taste, but is it a good dry cereal? Would you just eat that?
I feel like it could get messy if you just pick it up, too.
Yeah.
There's just so many random little pieces.
Very drying, I think.
And they're so thin that they, like, don't last in milk. But, like, the bigger pieces do. So it's, like, uneven.
Yeah. Probably great durability in the milk. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Next up, we got just regular Cheerios. I could live my whole life without eating a bowl of that.
Same. I think it is a classic, though. When you think of cereal, you really do think of Cheerios. And it's also heart healthy. That's like their number one thing. Every ad always says something about that. But I would never have it for flavor. What is the cereal milk after? It's not sweet. It's just
milk.
It's just milk. Exactly.
Yeah. It just tastes like milk. I think once you get to the bottom of it, it tastes more like sawdust than anything else. But I think it's got a special place in my heart because I was raised on Cheerios.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
They're always, it's like the one consistent thing in my life is Cheerios in my pantry.
It's almost like a saltine cracker.
Yeah.
It's not great, but like I will eat it.
It's always
like
there.
You always crave it, but you're not actually craving it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, number 6, we got Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Now, this one I have mixed emotions about because it is so good, but it's almost too dusty. And too good and too dusty.
Yeah. Maybe too sweet for breakfast.
Yeah.
But cereal isn't just a breakfast thing.
Well,
you can have it all
I know
day.
all about
Exactly.
that. I might have cereal for dinner tonight.
Yes. Great taste of cereal milk afterwards, I would say, with the cinnamon sugar. But I don't know. And I don't think it has great durability while in the milk. I feel like it gets soggy pretty fast.
I would agree, but then you think, okay, I'm over that. Now I'm ready for the milk.
For the
and
milk,
it tastes
exactly.
like a milkshake. And
That's
like,
true.
Okay.
It's like a 2-part experience.
I also think it's mostly a children's cereal. There's not a lot of age range when it comes to Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I will disagree on that. My dad, I think he's just turned 62, and if he had free reign over the grocery list every week, it hands down would be Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's interesting. But, I mean, I guess it makes sense because it is a top-selling cereal.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty extensive breakdown of the top-selling cereals in the United States. Now, if we had it our way, we might rank it completely differently. So here's our rank of breakfast cereals from the worst to best of this list. Number 6, we have Honey Bunches of Oats, no surprise.
Barely a cereal.
Number 5, we have Cheerios.
A classic, but not great.
Number 4, Lucky Charms.
Fits in there. I feel like that's a good place.
That's a controversial opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, but among the three of us, it's not a favorite. Number 3, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, just because of the milk.
Yes.
Definitely.
Number 2, we're between my 2 favorites. Number 2, Frosted Flakes.
A classic everyone loves.
At number 1, fan favorite, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Absolutely love Honey Nut Cheerios. So, as always, before we sign off, let's pitch our CCQ. And for the people that are new here, CCQ stands for Controversial Cereal Question. For tonight's episode, our CCQ is cereal soup? Respond with your answers on our Twitter thread at Serial Killers Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Till next week, we're Serial Killers Podcast.